So welcome to today's Greater Life CoffeeCast. And today, with our exploration of the pillar of home, the invitation is to love as much as you can from wherever you are. And here, we are not referring to your geographical location, though that could be a part of it, but more from wherever you are in your soul's journey of growth, of healing, and for whoever it is that needs to be loved. Yourself, your intimate partner, your children, your dear friends. To love as much as you can from wherever you are. And this is the seventh principle or practice, I can't remember if it's principle or practice, that I stumbled across. And I think it originally came from the work of the Hendrixes, who have been doing kind of relationship seminars for many years. And it was an article in the Huffington Post that someone had printed out. And in seeking to navigate my own relationship, it provided, these 7 principles and practices provided a great launching off point. And the one that resonated with me deeply, because it really speaks to one of my core values, is this idea that there is nothing for which love is not the ultimate answer. And therefore, what that then looks like in practical terms is that wherever you find yourself, if you find yourself in a terrible mood, if you find yourself deep in pain, in a pit, if you find yourself totally confused, the invitation to love as much as you can is never going to steer you wrong. Because that's going to look like different things in different ways, in different places, spaces and times at all times. Yet, to hold the unwavering intention for the highest and most loving outcome for all beings, from whatever it is that you are currently navigating, what you do is that you prime the entire field of possibility and potential with the most loving outcomes and possibilities. And therefore, as you go through your day, or as you go through the conversation that you've got to have with this person, then the words that will come through will be of the most loving quality. That does not necessarily mean they will be easy to hear or to say, but they will ultimately be leading towards the greatest love for you both and for all. And this is not always easy. Not least because we have, at times, an entire media machine that would sell us on the idea of discord, of hate, of jealousy, envy and fear. We need only look at some of the programs that are dressed up to talk about love. Love Island, right? Which, though I don't watch it, as I understand, is essentially a group of people who are trying to... Are they trying to find love, or are they just trying to bitch about each other and have sex? Like, those are different things, right? So, we have a media machine that presents a very, very warped and materialistic image of love, and therefore we assume that arguments and envy and ego are the norm, and that, for example, when a relationship ends, there should be enmity on both sides. And I came across this in my own life when the relationship I had after my marriage dissolved, like, the person I was with could not understand why I didn't hate my ex-wife. And I'm like, that would just be a terrible waste of love. Like, that would be awful, not least for my children, but that would just be, why would I do that? This is a person who I had a huge amount of love for. Why would I try not to cultivate that love in a different form? And so that is a personal example, is that, very, very suddenly my marriage ended. And my then wife realised that she was in fact gay, and therefore suddenly it was no longer a viable option for us to be romantically married, right? And yet, even as sudden and as brutal as this was, like, I'm so grateful for both of us for holding the perspective that the most important thing in what was unfolding was to keep love as the highest quality and aspiration and intention. And as the years have unfolded, it's been just a real blessing to be able to maintain a dear friendship and companionship, and to parent our incredible children together, held by a quality of love that isn't common, because so few people, it seems, will take the invitation given at the start of this CoffeeCast, which is to love as much as you can from wherever you are. And there were moments in that journey of the marriage dissolving where I was not in a space to be very loving at all. Like, I was, the anger that moved through had to be honoured. There were also deep experiences of profound grief that was a way of loving fully, but in a very different way than anything I'd ever experienced before. So, as I come to the close of this CoffeeCast, my question today is, where are there relationships that right now a greater quality of love could be brought to bear upon in your life? And almost without doubt, one of those relationships is the relationship you have with yourself and the relationship you have with your physical home in terms of beautifying, tending and caring for it. Because each day, the more that we can step towards love, the more that love will step towards us. And the reality is that the substrate of energy from which all life manifests responds to human consciousness. It is a neutral field from which all things come as they are intended. So if you are intending fear and hate and worry and concern and doubt, those will be brought to bear in your life, because that is the nature of the substrate of reality. It responds to our consciousness. And yet, if you are intending love, joy, happiness, delight for yourself and all beings, then it is impossible that that is not the kind of life you will move towards, because that is the life that will be brought into being for you. And I close this with an invitation, as I made in the article today, to not assume I've gone off some woo-woo deep end as I speak like this, but to recognize that this understanding of the underlying energetic nature of our reality is something I've given more than a decade of study to. So that when I say that love is a real force, and a force that when you can align with will radically transform every aspect of your life, I don't say that lightly, or though I've just watched some new age spiritualist, Instagram coach. No, there is depth here. And my invitation today is to love as much as you are. As much as you are. Yeah, to love as much as you are. You are an infinite, immortal being. You are an infinite, immortal, loving soul. So to love as much as you are, love as much as you can, from wherever and however you are. All right.